Everyone, welcome to the next part of this video series. We're in I could not even remember Moon Valley by Maria Trolle, and we've been doing a little bit of this leaf work. Now what I'm going to do today is we're going to do door and window, and then we'll return to leaves again in the next video, so that we're not doing lots of leaves all the time and lots of green. So let's come in and have a little look at this cute little door and do a little bit of work here. Here we go. Okay, so what have we got? Let's have a little look. So we've got a little ledge here on the doorstep, and the door is, I thought it was slightly open, but I don't think it is. It's just a bit of a slope there. And it looks wooden to me. Can you see this? So let's put it in the middle. Okay. Now I think I'm going to start by making it look a little bit wooden. Actually brown wood, you know, we could do painted wood, but I think I'm going to go for brown, and we'll do that first. So here is our raw umber. This is Polychromos, as I've been using for this page. I'm just going to put a light layer of raw umber onto the door, and then we'll get going. Oh, I'm a bit out of breath. I've just been helping my boy. He's moving his computer up to his bedroom, and I just helped him carry his PC upstairs. Now it's huge. Now he took all the weight, and I sort of just supported, but I decided I was walking backwards up a set of spiral stairs. It was a bit hairy, and we were fine. There was no risk of anything happening, but it was just a bit scary. I think that's why I'm more out of breath than actually doing it, you know, thinking, oh, can't drop this heavy thing. And my boy was below me, like taking all the weight, and he's just a little thing. Well, he's tall, but it's a little skinny thing. Oh, but we got there. I was just saving my husband a job because he's got a lot to do today. He's procrastinating by watching TV, and he said he would clean the kitchen floor, which I think he's doing now. And I did offer to do it. He said, no, I'll do it. You've got videos to do. I was like, yeah, I have. And getting the house ready for guests tomorrow, you see. And he needs to tidy the sofa. He has a habit of, well, it's what he does. You see, I've done some sort of random stripy bits. I like doing that with wood. It makes it look a little bit more... this is the nougat, by the way, a little bit less plain and structured. I think wood can have a bit of a life of its own. It doesn't have an even colour, so I'm just sort of vaguely pushing colour around it like that. Yeah, bits and bobs. Going to get a little bit darker. I'm going to use this one. This is the burnt umber. My pencil's getting so short. And here with the burnt umber, I'm going to sort of emphasise the lines that have been drawn on it. This sort of grain in the wood. I might add a few extras. Actually, I don't think we need to. I think Maria's put in just a perfect amount, which is what you would expect, really, isn't it? But yeah, he's what he does is he sits on the sofa doing art. He has two little tables putting stuff on, but he also spreads stuff all over the sofa. Now I've got no idea if my parents are even going to come up to the sitting room, because our kitchen's on the ground floor, and sometimes they just sit in the kitchen. But it sort of depends on the weather, I think, because we might go for a walk. I'm going to use the walnut brown for the frame. Okay, so I'm just going to colour it in, not this sort of medium pressure, and then I'll decide what to do with it in a minute. We might go for a walk, you see, after lunch, but if it's pouring with rain, they probably won't really be up for it, you know. So we'll just see, really, you know, how the day pans out. But it'd be lovely to have them over. Actually, need to ask father-in-law over as well. Haven't seen him for ages. My husband isn't very good at remembering to ask. He just say, well, he's really busy, and I'm like, I know, but he's always busy. But if you don't make an appointment in his diary, we'll never see him, because he'll always be busy. He's always making appointments. Just going to make it a little bit darker at top here. And I think nearer to the door, I want to layer it up a little bit more. There we go. The boys did a grand job this morning though, getting the house ready while I was out. Just wondering how to do this. I think I'm going to go back to my lighter colours. I think it might look better. So I'm going to grab the raw umber again and sort of start there. Yeah, I went shopping with husband. Well, we do farmer's market. We sort of park in the supermarket, walk to the farmer's market, then come back and do the supermarket shop. And I can't do it on my own because it's just too heavy. I'm going to grab that nougat. Now there are no lines drawn on here, so I'm going to put my own in. Just bits, oops, not really showing up. Just sort of bits of lines of colour here and there, just to make it look a bit more textured. Some shadow here and here. I think that inside bit might be darker. There we go. And then darker. I think the darkest, was it the burnt umber? It doesn't matter. There we go. And a bit more. Maybe some lines just here and there. Bits and bobs. Yeah, so we shopped and I left the boys a list of chores. And I came back and they said, we've done all of them. I was like, wow, fantastic. Apart from one thing, I can't remember what it was. I'm going to grab the walnut brown and do the window frame. So I'm going to start with a light pressure. And then I was like, well, did you manage to do this? And they were like, no. I was like, oh. And what about this? No. So it's on the list. But anyway, they've done a great job. They vacuumed, they cleaned the bathrooms. It was brilliant. The kitchen probably needs a bit more work, but that's probably more because we had lunch after. But I shall clean that tomorrow. This window, I'm going to keep with this walnut brown and do these bits, just the same as we did this bit. So it's great though. They were very helpful. But my one son knew that if he wanted our help with getting his computer in his room, he'd need to help us with the chores. He also went to bed early last night so he could get up early and be helpful, which was really good of him. There we go. Now I think the window frame, we could do it like the door frame, or we could do it more like this woody, like the door. I think I'm going to go more for the door look. We'd start lighter, so start with my raw umber. I think it would just look a bit different to the window. To the window. I don't know what you call that. I don't know. Anyway, so it's all been good. It was pouring with rain this morning, on and off. So that was interesting. But this is nougat. We managed to escape it pretty well. It's just drizzling a bit, so that was good. I didn't get too wet. I'm going to put a bit of shadow in there. Yeah, you think there'll be a bit there. And then onto the burnt umber and more sort of lines and bits. I'm being random, so you can be random too. You don't have to follow what I'm doing. I put a little bit extra up there to make it a bit darker. I'm thinking maybe be a bit darker here too, and here, like in the corners. There we go. Now we need to decide what colour inside the glass. Now we could do the glass, we could be looking into a room. If you're good at drawing, you could draw something in there. I'm not going to do that. You could do a glow of light coming out, or you could make it look reflective as if the light is shining off the window. I think that's the best idea with such a big window, because if I make it look like light's coming out, you would expect to be able to see in, and I can't draw what's going on inside, so I think it's better to make it look like it's reflecting light. So I'm going to grab my cold grey 3 and try a little bit of that. Now there are lots of different ways that you can do this. What should I do today? I think I will start here, dark, fade like that, dark here, and fade like that. So it looks a bit like a mirror. We'll do the same in every pane of glass. So it's sort of keeping that pale bit almost lined up if we can. And then the same on this one. Hopefully it looks glassy. It actually does look quite mirrored. Gosh, the sun is shining in. It's really, really bright on the back of my desk. Got my blind shut because it's so bright. And we're going to do the same on the front door. And yeah, it's one of those days when it's sort of, you know, rainy and sunny at the same time. There we go. And then we've got our door handle. I've been umming and ahhing about what to do with that, but what I think I'm going to do, come out a tad, have a look at our flowers. Now we've got a couple of sets of mushrooms slash toadstools, but we've got 3 sets of flowers, and I'm thinking maybe I would match the door knob with the flowers. So what should we do with those? I'm wondering whether to do a delicate pink to match her jumper. Maybe it's a more vibrant actually, not so delicate. Let's go for the fuchsia. Really bright fuchsia pink, I'm thinking. So I'm going to start with this flower. I'm just going to put on a layer, an evenish layer, like that. And then I'm going to put a few lines up from the, like that, so it looks like it's sort of shaped a little bit. It's a bit easier to do that when you've got a bigger flower, but you know. There we go. We should do the same with these. They're quite small, aren't they? So here and here, there we go. And this one. And all these. We'll do something a little bit different with the mushrooms. I've got an idea of how to tie it in. See if you can guess any idea. I'm not going to do the door handle in this colour though. I'm going to do it in the colour that I do the mushrooms. Have you guessed? Let's come out a bit so we can see. No, actually it's not. Let's do them as 2 separate bits. I'm going to do them in blue, like her trousers. And I think I'm going to do the door handle the same. But I'm going to do a lighter shade. This is the sky blue. I think we use this in the wings. But it's the same sort of colour tone as her as her trousers. There we go. So it was sort of matching. We used the fuchsia for the dark bit. It'll just look a little bit different. So I'm not going to do the stem in this colour though of our mushroom. That'd probably be just a grey. I tend to do the stems in grey. We're going to go up like we did with the flowers as well. It won't be quite so obvious because it's a paler colour, but I think it'll work. There we go. And then the ones at the top. Oh, we forgot some flowers. How many of you noticed? Well done if you did. Gold star. I've given out gold stars before. Not all very generous with my gold stars, am I? So if you spotted that, well done. Now, look at that. Just a few bits in there. A bit there. And here. There we go. Oh, the flowers down here before I forget, and then we'll do the stems. I know we're going back and forth a little bit. I'm just going to sharpen this time, just a little bit, getting a bit blunt. Going out the lines. And this one, there we go. Now, I'm going to use the grey. Let's go back to our mushrooms. The grey that I used for the windows, so-called grey 3, for our stems. I think it just helps to tie it all together. I'm going to make the edges of the stems a little bit darker if I can, particularly the lower ones. Oh, I missed some more flowers. Ah, double gold staff, if you got that. I think it's nice keeping them the same. You don't have to, of course, but I think it gives this sort of consistent pop of colour through our florals, our sort of leafy sphere. Now I will be adding more green, as I said, I think yesterday. We're going to make these leaves all look a bit more exciting, but we get this bit done first. So I think I'll just put a darker bit on the left. This one's a bit bigger. I'm going to try and put a little darker bit along each edge. This one's a bit small. And I think I'll do this one on the right. There we go. Now I'm going to ignore the butterfly for now. What are we doing? How are we doing for time? Maybe I won't ignore the butterfly actually. Maybe we'll do the butterfly today, and then we're using the same grey. Do a light layer. Oh, there's a big bang outside. I don't think it was thunder. So a darker layer around the outside. Now the wings I'm going to do in purple. We've got a little bit of purple in our girl's wings and on the collar of her dress. Oh, excuse me, I've got hiccups. So it's the violet I'm actually going to be using to start with. I think I'm going to put a bit all over the wings actually. And then we'll add a bit of mauve after. So I'm using a sort of medium pressure. I'm trying to keep it reasonably even. Yeah. Here my dryer is finished. It has this sort of anti-crease cycle, which sort of just goes on and on. And but husband's just mopped the kitchen floor, so I can't go down. Well, I could. I'll get wet. So wet feet. It'd be okay if I wasn't wearing any socks, if I was barefooted, but I'm not. I've got slippers on. So anyway, it'll all dry soon enough. So there is our violet. It doesn't look too exciting, does it? But I'm going to grab the mauve. I'm going to sharpen it. There we go. So here is the mauve. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do all these circles first. And then see where I think it needs more. Well, I know where a little bit. This will help me just to finish identifying all the areas. And then I think near the body I want it a little bit darker, so I'm just going to fill that in and then gently scumble it out a little bit from the centre. So it just looks like that body is creating a bit of shade. Then I'm going to go in here, make this bit a bit darker, and in here. And then under this one, I think. There. So, how did I do it? I did a bit there, a bit around there, and then, sorry for the shadow from my hand. more. A few areas, just fiddling really. There we are. Okay, and then let's come out and see the whole page for now. Now, next time we've got more leaf work to do. There we are. But for now, that is all for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have a really super day and happy colouring.